At Royal Bay Secondary School, groups of students from a food studies class set out to make films on local food production and the effects climate change will have on their everyday life. Over the past 2 months, I have compiled their films to show just what exactly is happening locally on Vancouver Island. Here are the stories. First, we must meet Chef Regan, who is one of the chefs at the Ravenous Cafe inside of our school.
So the first one is, how do you guys decide on what foods to make?
For Bazoo and myself, we collaborate and we make whatever we want with the influence of the students. So pretty much there are no roads where we're going, and a lot of it has to do with seasonal. What's available, what we get from the farm. So Low Bruner Farm, we get a whole bunch of produce. We get pigs and chickens and turkeys and whatnot from Cobble Hill, from Mike Huck's property.
Do you guys try to create a healthy cafeteria menu?
Yes. Other than all the cookies, we have to bake so many cookies every day, and you can't really get around a delicious cookie without that much butter. But otherwise, yeah, like salad bar is a good example of showcasing healthy food. We have the capability to feed the entire school every single day if we want, but we can also slow it down and we can spend a lot of time on demonstrations. So like I could do a whole demo on handmade pasta or filled chocolates or just sushi making or whatever you want. And that to me is being creative and producing the best food possible.
Next, some students ventured out to Sea Bluff Farm to meet Bob Mitchell and hear his story, in which he has been a farmer his entire life.
When we first came out here in the 1950s, 1940s actually, and then we were here, my parents bought this place in the early 50s. It froze in the winters. You could not have things sitting in the ground and be harvesting them all winter back then because the ground was frozen, and that's you can't it's hard digging vegetables out of frozen ground. And so it was like that through the 60s, and then things started warming up, and as a result we are growing different kinds of things that we wouldn't grow otherwise. So anyway, the changing climate will actually make it a bit easier to grow here in Vancouver Island, but people are not going to grow unless they got a market for their food.
We had more questions, so we came back to Royal Bay to talk more with Chef Bazoo.
There's a few factors that play into what we decide to put on the menu. First and foremost is what's available locally, like these wonderful lettuces and other plants that are growing, anything available in the garden if the season should suggest, or what's around in the farms. From there, we'll talk to students, see what students would like to know, what students like to have, and then lastly, what's cheap. Because sometimes you just need to put things on the menu that don't cost that much.
What is the best thing about the Royal Bay cafeteria?
I think kitchen. It's a stupidly well-equipped, insanely large kitchen. Arguably, I would say one of the best on the island. I would put it toe-to-toe with any hotel kitchen in town for sheer capacity and top-of-the-line equipment-wise. Yeah. It's amazing, the facility itself. As long as lunch is served, no one asks too many questions. So we're able to do a lot of fun things like pair up with local farmers, get whole pigs in to break down, that kind of stuff. That there's lots of other schools that I know that can't do that because they don't have the freedom that we do.
Our next group of students visited a place called Uminami Farm. This is an organic farm that specializes in growing plants that are native to Japan. Uminami is owned by Yoshiko, who herself is from Japan. Just some examples of vegetables that she grows are daikon, radishes, and cabbages. Here we have Trevor McDonald, who is a local farmer that decided to take it into his backyard. Here, he raises chickens, ducks, and even rabbits. He collects the eggs from the chickens and sells them to the community and friends. He has 12 chickens, 4 ducks, and 2 giant rabbits, one named Turtle and one named Joey.